Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought it would be interesting to do a personality quiz. I found one that has 300 questions, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna answer all the questions, and hopefully you'll learn some things about me. Okay, I can link this down in the description if anybody is interested. I literally just googled personality quiz or something like that. Yeah, personality test. This one's called the 300 question personality test. It's free to take, so. Okay. So the way that it's rated here is it says, it looks like it has I statements. For example, the first one is, I make friends easily, and you basically rate that from 1 to 5, 1 being inaccurate, 3 being neutral, and 5 being accurate. So I would say yes, accurate. I do make friends easily. I've never really had a problem making friends. I have a vivid imagination. I don't know about this one. I feel like I feel neutral about it because I wish that I had a more vivid imagination than I do. And I think a lot of people think that I have a bigger imagination than I do. But I feel like I don't really have a big imagination. So that one is neutral. I worry about things. I'm also gonna say neutral. I do worry about things. But I don't think that I worry about things in an unhealthy or obsessive way, which I think the amount that I worry about things is pretty neutral, normal amount. So I'm just gonna stick with neutral for that one. I love large parties. I'm gonna have to go with inaccurate. I don't love large parties. So maybe like a gathering of up to 10 people is probably the biggest number of people that I can handle. Actually, that even seems too big. I'm like holding up my, like that even seems like a little too much. Maybe less than that, maybe 5 people, and then myself. It's like a good number for me. The more people that are there, the less I feel connected with anybody. And I don't know, I think I used to like going to bigger parties, but since I quit drinking, I really don't find any interest in that anymore. I believe in the importance of art. Yes, I do believe art is important. I'm gonna put accurate for that. I feel like I don't need to explain it, because it's just a fact. Art is important. I get angry easily. I don't get angry very easily at all, so that's completely inaccurate. I don't think, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I know for sure makes me angry. I do get upset when people roll their eyes at me. that. I just don't. I take charge. This one is an interesting one because I can take charge, but I don't necessarily take charge in a lot of situations. I will take charge if I 100% know that I am the person who should take charge, but I won't take charge if I feel like there's somebody that knows more than I do. And I might not necessarily appoint them as in charge either. I'll just kind of like mouse back. But like say we're talking about like art or my job or something like that, I will take charge because I know that I'm probably the one who knows the most about it. But yeah, like I said, I don't take charge in every situation because I feel like who does that, really? Not me. I'll just put neutral for that one. I experience my emotions intensely. I absolutely do. I feel like I've been told my whole life that it's a bad thing to experience your emotions intensely. And as I'm an adult now, I feel like I know that it's not a bad thing to feel your emotions strongly. In fact, it's a good thing because you're very in tune with how you feel, and that's something that a lot of people haven't figured out, how to figure out how they feel about things. And I feel like I am blessed in a way where I don't have to try and navigate my emotions. I know what they are. I often feel blue. I do not often feel blue. There have been times in my life where I have felt down. I'm assuming blue means down. And I think that this is kind of a bad I statement. Feel blue. I don't feel this at all right now, so I'm gonna put inaccurate. But there have been times in my life where this would have been accurate, so I feel a little conflicted about how to answer it because different times in my life I have felt different ways. I guess I'll just put inaccurate because currently it's inaccurate. And I'm not saying that I'll never feel that way again. I just don't feel that way right now. I am always busy. I'm gonna put neutral on this one because I'm not always busy, but I'm not always just stagnant either. I may not always be out there being social and doing those kinds of things, but I always have my own plans and ideas, even if they're not something that somebody would consider being busy. I don't know. So I just like to I am always doing what I want to be doing, and I do always have a thing that I want to do, so I guess in the middle I'll put I prefer variety to routine. There was a time where I would have picked variety, but now I think I pick routine. I'm gonna put in between neutral and accurate though for that one because No. No, I wouldn't say I'm easily intimidated. I guess I'm gonna put neutral. I think it depends on if somebody is purposely trying to intimidate me. Maybe it'll work, I don't know. I love excitement. I do love excitement. I mean, yeah. Who doesn't? Seems kind of weird to not love excitement. I don't know, maybe not weird, but I guess, yeah, okay, I can see how people would not like feeling excited. I personally do. I like to solve complex problems. I do, in a way, yeah. I'm gonna put in between neutral and accurate for that one because I do like to solve problems, but I don't like look for problems necessarily to solve. Unless we're talking about video games. One of my favorite kind of video games are those long, drawn-out puzzle ones where you just like walk around a world and you like move objects around and try and make it open up doors and stuff. I love that stuff. I guess those could be considered complex problems. But when it comes to everyday life stuff, I'd rather not have any complex problems, if that makes any sense. Okay, so my next question is I often eat too much. I'm gonna put neutral for that one because I'm not the best with eating or knowing even how to eat properly, and I've been getting a lot better with it, but sometimes I forget to make food for myself, and in cases like that where I've forgotten to eat, I'll get really hungry and then I'll eat too much. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy here. So I'm going to put neutral because it's something that I actually am working on getting better at, making sure that I eat like a proper dinner every night and stuff like that. I radiate joy. Oh, jeez. What have I gotten myself into? I am going to put neutral because I feel like that's something that I can't answer about myself. I definitely wouldn't say that I radiate sadness, but I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that I radiate joy either. I tend to vote for liberal political candidates. I'm just gonna put neutral on this one and move on. I panic easily. I don't panic easily. I can remember a time where I have jumped right into panic, but I think the circumstance I was in kind of called for it. I was on a sinking boat. Maybe I'll talk more about that another time. But that was kind of a panic situation where I jumped into kind of panicking. And I didn't do the right thing right away. I had to ask, what do I do? But I pulled it together and it was fine. But that's the only time that I can think of where I actually went straight to panic without using my brains. I trust others. This one is interesting because I have trusted people, I think, too much. And I really dialed it back. You know, it's hard because we're not all raised the same way. We don't all have the same morals and, like, structure. So, some of us go into the world and are just trusting people because, you know, we've never realized that the bad guys aren't wearing, you know, trench coats and, like, hiding behind their wide brim hats or whatever, like in the corners smoking cigarettes or whatever. Whatever it is that Disney makes you believe a villain looks like. Villains exist, but they don't look like that. They look like everybody. So, yeah, I would say I have trusted bad people. That wasn't even the question, was it? It was just I trust others. Like, there are people I trust, yes. Accurate. I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was like I trust easily. But it's not. It just says I trust others. So, yeah, I do. Like, there are people I trust. There are people I do not trust, though. So, if this question was flipped and it said I don't trust others, I could answer accurate for that as well, because there are people I trust and there are people that I just don't trust. I would never cheat on my taxes. That's the next one. Of course I would never cheat on my taxes. I don't really want to go to jail. I make people feel welcome. I'm gonna put neutral. I suppose I try to make people feel welcome, but I can't really say for sure whether I do or not. I'm easy to satisfy. I am easy to satisfy. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's dependent. I mean, a lot of this really is dependent. I'll put accurate just because if I were to think on like a base level, like what I am very like satisfied with myself. So you know, something simple would satisfy me, you know. I don't know. So I'll just put accurate. Yeah, sure, I'm easy to satisfy. I dislike being the center of attention. Sometimes. I have to put neutral for that one too. A lot of these are just neutral for me. Because, again, it depends on the situation. Like, if I'm the center of attention for a bad reason, of course I'm gonna dislike it. And I'm not necessarily going to like being the center of attention for a good reason either. Stuff like that does tend to make me feel awkward. Yeah, I'll just put neutral. It is what it is. I sympathize with the homeless. Yeah, I'm gonna say accurate. Moving on. I complete tasks successfully. Is there such a thing is completing a task unsuccessfully. Because then it wouldn't be complete, would it? Like, for example, taking out the garbage. How do you unsuccessfully complete the task of taking out the garbage? It seems like this statement doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna say it accurate, like if I completed the task, it's gonna be successfully. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at all of this wrong, I don't know. Okay. I like order. I'm gonna say neutral. I do like order in some ways, but in other ways I do find a little bit of chaos important as well. You know, like, I have a lot of order in my life. I track a lot of things I keep track of, and I have a lot of things organized, but other stuff, and I'm talking more like my art supplies, well, it seems organized in some kind of way. It's still very chaotic, and I think it needs to be that way. So let's put neutral for that one. I try to follow the rules. Which rules? I guess, yeah. I'll put accurate. I mean, there are different types of rules that we encounter in our lives. So there's like government rule. Yes, I do try to not do things that are illegal. And then there's like the rules that you give yourself. And, you know, sometimes those rules are made with the best intentions, but you don't normally execute them properly, or like maybe you had really high expectations for yourself, so you don't follow those rules. I don't know. I'm just gonna say accurate because yeah, I do try. I don't know. This question is really weird. I go straight for the goal. That's all it says. I go straight for the goal. I don't even know what this means, so I'm just gonna put neutral. Don't know. I get chores done right away. Also neutral. Depends on the importance of the chore to me, as to how I decide when to do them. So, yeah, like I said, a lot of these questions I find extremely dependent on situations. I avoid mistakes. The thing about mistakes is that you don't necessarily know that you're making them. So how do you avoid them? I think I could agree with this one if it said I try to avoid mistakes. But how am I to know? I'm just picking apart this text. made mistakes, and I can avoid the mistakes that I have made already because I know that they're mistakes. But the mistakes in my future, well, I wanted to avoid them. But even then, our mistakes help us to figure out a lot about us. So I'm just gonna put neutral again. It's a very bold claim to make that you avoid mistakes, I think. I don't. My history tells me that I don't avoid mistakes. Most people's history, I think, should tell them that they don't avoid mistakes because, there's even a saying, everybody makes mistakes. It's just unavoidable. I fear the worst. Are all these questions going to be so open-ended? Inaccurate? No, I don't fear the worst. What? Well, okay, it's the worst. So, we're just not even going to touch that one. I get irritated easily. I feel like this test is trolling me. I get irritated easily. No, I don't. I dislike myself. No, I don't dislike myself. It's inaccurate. I'm afraid that I will do the wrong thing. I feel neutral about that. I do have a little bit of fear that I am gonna do the wrong thing. I don't know why I do some of the things I do. That's inaccurate. I feel like I do know why I do most of the things that I do, the things that matter anyway, I don't really think I have too many habits that are unexplained, when I think about it. I know why I do things. I become overwhelmed by events. Do I? So, when I think about giant public gatherings, I do feel a little overwhelmed by that. So here in Vancouver, anytime there is anything that sounds remotely fun going on, as soon as you get there, it's just a massive amount of people all crammed into one little area. Everything is just people everywhere, and that is the thing that overwhelms me. But I know in a smaller town, an event like that wouldn't overwhelm me because there isn't as many people. So I don't think it's the event necessarily that overwhelms me, it's the hordes and hordes of people. So I'm just gonna put neutral on that one because aspects of events do overwhelm me. I warm up quickly to others. Again, it's so circumstantial. Depends on who you are. I have warmed up very quickly to others, but it has also taken me a while to warm up to people guess I'll just put accurate because I do, in a sense, warm up quickly to other people if they're the right people. I talk to a lot of different people at parties. Well, when I went to parties all the time, I don't even know if I did, actually. I think I would find somebody I knew and then just kind of latch onto them. So I'm just going to put in accurate. I try to lead others. I'm just going to put neutral because I don't purposely try to lead anybody, but I also don't purposely follow anybody per se either, so I don't know. I am always on the go. I'm gonna put in accurate. I'm not always on the go. I seek adventure. I'm also gonna put in accurate. Well, okay, maybe I'll put neutral. I do seek adventure in a way, in a sense, but the thing that I find adventurous now is a lot different than what it used to be. I look for a different kind of adventure than the, like, Indiana Jones shit. I feel like I've been there, done that kind of stuff. Like, obviously not relic hunting or anything, but the thrill, you know, the rush, like the adventure where you go out and you just be a mess and you, like, I don't seek that adventure anymore. The thing that I look at as an adventure now is, you know, living a quiet life. That's my next adventure. You know, figuring out which house I'm going to grow old in and stuff. That's my next adventure. Not, you know, going out and running amok in the city or whatever. I have a lot of fun. I think, yes, very accurate. I have a lot of fun all the time. And I'm very happy. I enjoy wild flights of fantasy. I'm gonna put neutral. I like music. Absolutely accurate. Music is my life force, along with coffee. And I can't even imagine what it would be like not to be able to listen to music. That is not a world that I would want to live in. Oh, here's an interesting one. I feel others' emotions. So this is what's known as empathy. And I'm a very empathetic person. So I'm going to put accurate. I like to visit new places. Yeah, I do. Depends on the place, though. But for the most part, yeah, that's accurate. I love to read challenging material. Nope. Not at all. I believe that there is no absolute right and wrong. inaccurate. Because I think right and wrong are on a moral scale, and there is absolutely a side to each scale of right and wrong. It's difficult when I think about it because there are a lot of layers to what is morally right and wrong, and what is like government right and wrong, and where do they intersect? Is what makes this thing difficult. Like, I do know that things that are considered right on one side are considered wrong on the other side, so I think that it is something that needs to be navigated better. But I do think that there is an absolute right and wrong that is ingrained in most of us, and it's your moral compass of right and wrong, and some people don't have that, and that's what's known as a sociopath. But yeah, I guess I do believe that there is an absolute right and wrong in a lot of situations. I don't know. I feel like I can't quite convey this one properly, but I am just gonna say that there is an absolute right and wrong. I believe that others have good intentions. This bleeds right into the previous. I'm gonna go neutral. Actually, no, I'm gonna go in between inaccurate and neutral, because the more people that I've encountered in my life, the harder it becomes to believe that others have good intentions. And it's too bad that that has to be my path as far as other people are concerned. But yeah, the longer I've been alive and the more other people I've invited into my life, the less I believe that people have good intentions. But some do. Some people do. There are good people out there. I know that 100%. Not everybody's bad. But there are some shocking statistics out there about the amount of sociopaths. And I do consider sociopaths to be bad. A good book to read is The Sociopath Next Door. That would give you a really good idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, next question. I stick to the rules. Yeah, accurate. I anticipate the needs of others. Accurate. I think I do. I hope other people think I do too, because that one's important. I can't stand confrontations. I would say inaccurate. I don't mind confrontation. I dislike talking about myself. I'm gonna put it accurate. I don't mind talking about myself. I feel sympathy for those who are worse off than myself. Yes. I find this one a little difficult. Because, well, I do feel bad for some people who are worse off than myself. I also feel like, who am I to decide somebody's worse off than me? You know? What gives me the right to say this person has it worse than me? It just seems a little like, I don't know. I excel in what I do. Guess it depends on what I'm doing, huh? I guess I'll put neutral. I like to tidy up. I'm gonna put in between neutral and accurate for this one, because while I do like to tidy up, I like to tidy up because of the effect that it has. I don't necessarily like to tidy up because I like tidying up. Except in some circumstances, I do actually really like tidying up. I don't know. It's a weird one. I keep my promises. I don't like to make promises for this very reason. I'm gonna put neutral because I feel like promises come with the best of intentions, and I always want to keep my promises, but there's a reason why I don't make promises, you know? It's a slippery slope, promises, so I don't make them. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put accurate for that because I don't make promises. So, if there was a promise that if there was something that I believed in enough to make a promise about it, you damn right I'm fucking keeping it. Because I don't make promises. I work hard. Yeah, I work hard. Hell yeah, I work hard. Depends on the thing, though. I'm always prepared. Too broad. Way too broad. I'm always prepared for the things that I can prepare for, yes. I'm not always prepared for... Well, let me run some scenarios in my head. What could happen that you need to be prepared for? A natural disaster. Am I prepared for a natural disaster? Not totally, but I'm not totally unprepared either. You know, I do have a lot of the stuff I would need in that kind of situation. So, another thing to be prepared for. I'm moving in a couple months, and you damn right I'm gonna be prepared for that. Depends on what you're talking about. I'll just put accurate. Sure. I choose my words with care. Yeah. I try to trying to put care in, there's like a side of me that likes to joke around and have fun, and that I feel like you have to play to your audience when it comes to comedy. And you know what? I do consider that choosing my words with care too, so yeah, I guess all around I do. I'm afraid of many things. Inaccurate, no. I get upset easily. I'm gonna put inaccurate. I feel like I have been in situations where people have made me feel like a time when I was upset was me being easily upset. But I'm not gonna let that influence me in this answer, because I don't think that, like, looking back, I don't think that I was easily upset, or that I do get easily upset. I think that that person just wanted me to think I was easily upset. So I'm just gonna put inaccurate. I am often down in the dumps. Inaccurate. I find it difficult to approach others. I'm gonna put neutral, because while I don't necessarily find it difficult per se, I don't like doing it. I do things I later regret. Well, we all have regrets. I'm just gonna put neutral for that one. We all have regrets. We all do things that we regret, and later is the only time, really. I feel that I'm unable to deal with things. Inaccurate. I deal with everything, I think, pretty well. I feel comfortable around people. Neutral. I feel comfortable around certain people. Absolutely. All people? Definitely not. I enjoy being part of a group. Yeah, I do. But I enjoy being part of a group on my terms. Like, they have to be specific people. I do have specific groups that I enjoy being a part of. But I also enjoy it being on my terms. Like, I don't want to wake up in a group and go to bed in a group and do everything in a group. I want to weave in and out of my group settings as freely as I feel. And in that sense, I do enjoy being part of a group. I can talk others into doing things. This is a bad question. This is just so poorly asked. I can talk others into doing things. Maybe I can. But do I do it? No. I'm just gonna put inaccurate. I do a lot in my spare time. I'm gonna put neutral, because, well, I do feel at times that I do a lot in my spare time. Sometimes I do absolutely nothing, and I think I need to have a balance between doing a lot and doing nothing. And the times when I do nothing, I feel like I'm not doing enough, so that's why I'm putting neutral. I love action. I don't even know what that means. I love action. Like action movies. Action. Activism action. What kind of action are we talking here? I'll just put neutral. It's my go-to, I guess, if I don't understand what the hell the question means or statement means. I express childlike joy. Yeah, I can. Oh, a squeaky chair. I love to daydream. Yeah, I like to daydream. Well, I don't do it all the time, but I do. I see beauty in things that others might not notice. That's a bold statement. I'm just gonna put neutral. I am passionate about causes. I'm gonna put inaccurate. I'm not against causes. I wouldn't describe myself as passionate about them either. I am interested in many things. I'm gonna put inaccurate. I feel like I'm interested in a few things. A lot. Like I'm really interested in a few things. I have a rich vocabulary. I'm gonna put neutral. I do have a decent vocabulary, I think, but I don't think I would call it rich per se. I believe that criminals should receive help rather than punishment. I feel absolutely neutral about this because some criminals, well, like we all know, sometimes there's disconnects in the brain. I don't know, it's very difficult to kind of put into words how I feel about this. Yes, I guess. But who's to say? So, a psychopath doesn't have the same pathways in the brain as other people, and I don't think that there is a lot we can do about it. So that's why this one is tricky. I'm just neutral. It's too much to get into. I trust what people say. These questions are so broad. Oh, they're not questions, sorry. These I statements are so broad. I trust what certain people say, absolutely. I trust what other people say, no. I'm just gonna put neutral. I use flattery to get ahead. Absolutely not. I think that's gross. I love to help others. I'm going to put in between neutral and accurate because I do love to help people, but I am also not naive, and I don't a stranger. I know that that sounds really bad, but lived experience is important, and I absolutely love to help people that I know and am close with 100%. But I don't always have a lot to give, so I can't just give freely to everyone. I hate to seem pushy. Yeah, I guess that's accurate. I don't know who would like to seem pushy. I consider myself an average person. I'm gonna say inaccurate, just cause why not? What even is an average person? The term is so relative. I value cooperation over competition. I do. That is completely accurate. I handle tasks smoothly. I'm gonna say accurate for that one too. Again, it depends on the task, but generally, yeah. I want everything to be just right. I feel neutral about this because there is no gauge for what just right means. In my world, anyway. So I don't think that I can say that this is an accurate or an inaccurate statement. I just don't know. I pay bills on time. Accurate. It is something that I had to learn to do, though. I turn plans into actions. I would say that I'm pretty accurate on that as well, although I do have a lot of plans that turned into nothing too. I guess I have big ideas and I need to think about them before I put them into action. But if I decide that they're good enough to follow through, then I will put them into actions. I start tasks right away. This can be both accurate and inaccurate depending on the task. I'm just going to put accurate because it's the positive one. I stick to my chosen path. I feel neutral about that because you can start down a path and bigger, better ideas may spawn from the thing that you originally chose. And then in that case, do you stick to your chosen path? Absolutely not. You're going to go in the direction of the bigger, better things. So I'm going to put neutral because I start on my chosen path. Let's put it that way. I get stressed out easily. No. Inaccurate. I am often in a bad mood. Inaccurate. I am almost never in a bad mood. I have a low opinion of myself. Inaccurate. I think I'm great. I am afraid to draw attention to myself. That's also inaccurate. I'm not afraid. If I don't draw attention to myself, it's not out of fear. I go on binges. Neutral. So right now I've been basically binging Minecraft. I want to put neutral because I don't necessarily think it's wrong to indulge in some things like that, and I do think it's wrong to indulge in other things. It depends on the level of healthy to unhealthy that the things that you're binging on wrong with if I were to take that same amount of time that I've been playing Minecraft and devote it to like drinking alcohol. That is a bad binge. So I would say neutral. Well, I do go on binges from time to time. I don't think that I do it in super unhealthy ways. I can't make up my mind. I'll just put neutral because it's funny. I act comfortably with others. I'm also gonna put neutral because it depends on who the others are. Okay, so there's 3 pages to this test. I'm on page 2 now. Yeah, it just is the same, more of the same. I involve others in what I'm doing. Yes, I do. Just trying to think, like, yeah, I do involve others. I at least tell people what I'm doing. I seek to influence others. No, I don't. I don't really care about what others do. I don't want to. Well, I don't seek to influence others. Like, that's not a goal of mine. But if I do influence other people in a positive way, then great, I'm happy about that. But I don't strive to influence people. There, that's the word. I can manage my many things at the same time. Neutral. Yes, I can multitask. And I have done really well at it. But I think I can also not manage many things well at the same time too. It depends on the things. I enjoy being part of a loud crowd. No, actually, if I'm in a crowd and the people in the crowd are basically causing a fuss or a ruckus, it makes me feel awkward, actually. I laugh my way through life. That's accurate. I like to get lost in thought. That's also accurate. I love flowers. That's accurate too. I enjoy examining myself and my life. Yes, absolutely. I like to begin new things. That's accurate too. I can handle a lot of information. Accurate. I believe in one true religion. Inaccurate. I believe that people are basically moral. I'm gonna say neutral because, like, we were talking about psychopaths and sociopaths earlier. Those are people that have no morals. Like, while I do believe that morals are an important social structure, lots of people don't have them, so let's put neutral. I use others for my own ends. Ooh, no. No. I am concerned about others. I'm concerned concerned about others who I care about, yeah. I have a sharp tongue. I guess I'm gonna put between neutral and accurate because I have been known to cuss. I seldom toot my own horn. I'm gonna put neutral because I do actually like to talk about my accomplishments, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with being proud of yourself, so. I suffer from others' sorrows. This is the exact same question as feeling empathy. Well, I guess it's not exactly the same. Suffer from others' sorrows versus feeling empathy. I'm gonna put inaccurate because I don't suffer. I do have empathy, I have high empathy, but I don't consider it suffering, so I am sure of my ground. These questions are just getting weirder and weirder. I guess accurate. I love order and regularity. I do. I'm gonna put between neutral and accurate for that one because while I do love having order and things being semi-regular, I do also like new things. I don't know. I tell the truth, accurate. I plunge into tasks with all my heart. Depends on the tasks, but if we're talking about personal projects and things like that, then absolutely, that's accurate. I get to work at once. These questions. Neutral, depends. I jump into things without thinking. No, inaccurate. I get caught up in my problems. Neutral, I guess. I lose my temper. Inaccurate. I have frequent mood swings. I wouldn't say frequent, so I'll put inaccurate. I only feel comfortable with friends. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, actually. I love to eat. Neutral. I get overwhelmed by emotions. I'm gonna put neutral because, well, I used to get overwhelmed by my emotions. I've been learning a lot of coping lately, and I don't feel that way anymore. I don't feel like consumed by my emotions. I cheer people up. I'm gonna put between neutral and accurate because I do think that I can cheer people up. I love surprise parties. I've actually never had a surprise party, so I have no idea if I love them. Maybe I hate them. I don't know. So I'll put neutral. I take control of things. We've already been over this. It depends on the thing. Neutral. I react quickly. See, this is so broad. I react quickly to what? How? How would I be reacting? Is this a positive reaction? Or is this like a rash reaction? I'm just gonna put neutral because I have no idea. I enjoy being reckless, inaccurate. I love life, accurate. I indulge in my fantasies. Accurate, I guess. I mean, my fantasies are based in reality, so yeah. I enjoy the beauty of nature. Accurate. I try to understand myself. Accurate. I prefer to stick with things that I know. I'm gonna put between neutral and accurate because I do like to learn new things. No, I'm just gonna put neutral. I do like to learn new things, but I also stick with the things that I know. So let's put neutral. I enjoy thinking about things. Yes, I think about things a lot. I tend to vote for conservative political candidates. We already asked me this, except it was liberal. I'm just gonna put neutral and move on. I believe in human goodness. Neutral. I do. And I don't at the same time. I know how to get around the rules. Just another moral question. I'll put that as neutral. Like, it depends on the rules. I got a bone to pick with this quiz. I have a good word for everyone. This is putting me to sleep. Neutral. I contradict others. Neutral. I believe that I'm better than others. Like, depends as a whole. Inaccurate, no. Am I better at certain things? Yeah, probably. I am not interested in other people's problems. That's inaccurate. So, if you are somebody that I care about and love, then I am definitely interested in your problems. But if I don't know you, not necessarily. I mean, I will still try and help in any way that I can. But there's a line there. Like, it's difficult to say. I guess the word that I'm thinking about is invested rather than interested. I think it's weird to say that I'm interested in other people's problems. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. I come up with good solutions. Again, depends on the problem. So I'm just gonna put neutral. I do things according to a plan. Every question I'm just like, it depends on the circumstance. So neutral. I listen to my conscience. I do. That's accurate. I do more than what's expected of me. Depends on the situation. You know? It really does depend on the situation. So I'm just gonna put neutral. I carry out my plans. I'm gonna put accurate for this one because if I do have ideas that become plans, I tend to carry them out. I don't make rash decisions. Inaccurate. I am not easily bothered by things. That is accurate. I rarely get irritated. That's accurate too. I feel desperate. Inaccurate. I stumble over my words. Inaccurate. I rarely overindulge. I'm gonna put neutral. I sometimes overindulge. neutral because it depends on the situation, I guess. I am hard to get to know. I don't really know. I think that I am hard to get to know. There's just too many things about me, I guess. I prefer to be alone. I'm gonna put neutral because I do prefer to be alone unless you are somebody that I can feel like I'm being alone with, if that makes any sense. I wait for others to lead the way. Neutral. Again, it depends on if I have the skills to lead the way or not. I like to take it easy. Yeah. I act wild and crazy. Neutral. Only because I can't act wild and crazy if it's like for fun. I can do that for fun. I don't do that for serious. I look at the bright side of life. Accurate. I spend time reflecting on things. Accurate. I do not like art. Inaccurate. I seldom get emotional. Neutral. I do get emotional. I dislike changes. Inaccurate. I do actually like change as long as it's change up, you know, for the better. I'm not interested in abstract ideas. Neutral. Depends on the abstract idea. I believe that too much tax money goes to support artists. What kind of a test is this? Neutral. I don't care about that at all. I think that all will be well. I think that all will be well if you are making sure that all will be well. I'll put neutral. I cheat to get ahead. Ooh, no, I do not. I look down on others. No. I love a good fight. I don't know, it depends on if we're talking about like debating something totally, you know, totally irrelevant debate. I can have fun. But like a fucking hate dish throwing fight, absolutely not. Let's put neutral. I think highly of myself. Neutral. I tend to dislike soft-hearted people. Inaccurate. I find that actually that most of the people that I really get along with, they have a tough exterior, but are very loving and caring past that, you know, on the inside. I know how to get things done. It depends on the things. I often forget to put things back in their proper place. I'm gonna put neutral because it depends on how long that thing has had a proper place as to whether I would actually put it back there or not. And sometimes that's a good way for me to decide if that is the right place for the thing, if I actually remember to put it back or not. I break rules. Inaccurate. I mean, because I do have some standards that could be considered high, I guess. I think they're considered decent, like human decency kind of standards, but a lot of people I met have had trouble making the bar on that one. I find it difficult to get down to work. Neutral. Depends. It really depends on what I'm doing. I like to act on a whim. Neutral. I mean, it depends. So like, for example, my best friend calls me up and says, we're gonna go to Defino today for the weekend. You wanna come? Yeah, I'll do that on a whim. So, yeah. I seldom get mad. I would say that's accurate. I don't get mad very often. I feel that my life lacks direction. Inaccurate. I actually feel like my life has more direction now than I ever have before. I'm not embarrassed easily. I'm gonna go with a neutral because some things do embarrass me easily. I easily resist temptations. I'm also gonna say neutral. Depends on the temptation, really. I'm a lot better with that now than I used to be. I can handle complex problems. I'm gonna say neutral. I would like to say accurate, but when I think about how complex some problems can be, I could not handle them, no. I often feel uncomfortable around others. Neutral. I don't say it, like I don't think I'd feel uncomfortable per se. I don't feel necessarily comfortable, but I don't feel uncomfortable. I want to be left alone. That's inaccurate. I don't. I keep in the background. Depends. I'll put neutral. It really depends on the situation again. I like to take my time. Neutral again. I can't just be so broad. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm willing to try anything once. That's inaccurate. There are some things that I know that I will never try. And if you want an example, certain drugs I know that I would never try. Stuff like that. I laugh aloud. Yes, I do. Frequently and quite loud, depending. I seldom daydream. Inaccurate. I always daydream. One of my fave things. I do not like poetry. I'm gonna say neutral. Some poetry I like and some poetry I don't. I think it is all just dependent on the poetry. I'm not easily affected by my emotions. Excuse me. This is putting me to sleep. I'm not easily affected by my emotions. I'm gonna say neutral. I guess it depends on the situation, like everything, I can be affected. I'm not gonna claim not to. I don't like the idea of change. Inaccurate. I do like the idea of change, as long as it's positive change. avoid philosophical discussions. I don't actually. That's inaccurate. I like talking about philosophy, so. Okay, this is the last page. I think this is the last 100 questions. So we're 2/3 of the way through. I believe laws should be strictly enforced. I feel neutral about that. I think it depends on the laws. I think it depends on a lot of things, really. I distrust people. Neutral, again, depends on the people. All of this is so relevant. I put people under pressure. I'm gonna put inaccurate because I don't think I do. I am indifferent to the feelings of others. Inaccurate. I yell at people. Inaccurate. I have yelled at people before. I will not say that I've never yelled at somebody. But I don't do it. I wouldn't say I do yell at people at all. And I do remember every time that I've yelled at someone. And it's not a good feeling. I have a high opinion of myself. Yeah, I love myself. I'm pretty great. I believe in an eye for an eye. Inaccurate. I misjudge situations. I think we all do at times, so I'm just gonna put neutral. I leave a mess in my room. I'm gonna put neutral. It depends on the activity that I was doing and the activity I'm about to do. You know, if I am doing something that's messy and then I have to go do something again, I will leave the mess. But I generally like to clean up my areas. I break my promises. We already talked about this. Inaccurate. I demand quality. I wouldn't say I demand quality. I want quality. But we're living in a world of low quality. I'll just put neutral because, well, I want quality in most things. There is a sad truth that it's hard to find quality, and quality tends to cost a lot. I waste my time. Neutral. I think it's relative. You know, if sitting around doing nothing for an hour is what I wanted to do, is it a waste? I rush into things. I'm gonna put inaccurate because I do think about the things that I choose a lot. And I think about angles and details, and I wouldn't call that rushing into things. Things that matter anyway. Like, I'm reminded of the, doing things on a whim, like going on a trip or whatever. I guess technically, yeah, I rush into that kind of thing. But I don't feel like that is what this question is about, or what this statement is about. I am relaxed most of the time. Accurate. easily annoyed. I'm gonna say neutral. There are things that annoy me, and if you do them, they might easily annoy me. I don't know. So I'm just gonna put neutral. I seldom feel blue. Yeah, that's accurate. I am comfortable in unfamiliar situations. Neutral. Depends on the situation, always. I am able to control my cravings. Accurate, I would say. I know how to cope. I think that's accurate too. I avoid contact with others. That's neutral. I do sometimes avoid contact with others. I don't. I don't avoid doing things to avoid contact with others. I don't like crowded events. Accurate. I have little to say. I don't know. I think, yeah, I guess I do have little to say. I don't talk a lot, but I don't think that what I have to say is always little, if that makes any sense. I like a leisurely lifestyle, of course. Who wouldn't? I seek danger. Inaccurate. Nope. I amuse my friends. We amuse each other, really. So I guess that's accurate. I do not have a good imagination. Neutral. I think I already answered one of these where I feel like I wish I had a better imagination. And I think people think that I have a really good imagination. But I feel like I don't really. I do not enjoy going to art museums. That's inaccurate. I do enjoy it. But it's not something that I seek out to do. But if somebody wants to go to one, I'm like all for it. I rarely notice my emotional reactions. That's inaccurate. I always notice them. I am a creature of habit. Yeah, I guess so. I have difficulty understanding abstract ideas. Neutral, depends on the idea. I believe that we coddle criminals too much. I don't have an opinion on that. I suspect hidden motives in others. I'm gonna say neutral. Sometimes I do. I pretend to be concerned for others. No, I don't. I make people feel uncomfortable. I hope I don't. I insult people. No. Not on purpose. I know the answers to many questions. Neutral. Yeah, I do know the answers to many questions, but I also don't know the answers to equally as many questions. I'm just gonna put neutral. I try not to think about the needy. Again, I'm just gonna put neutral. I don't understand things. Depends on the things. I leave my belongings around. Inaccurate. I get others to do my duties. Inaccurate. I am not highly motivated to succeed. Inaccurate. Depends on your definition of success. I need a push to get started. neutral. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I do crazy things. Depends on what your point of view of crazy is, I guess. I'm just gonna put neutral because I guess some of the things that I do can be considered crazy. I don't know. I don't worry about things that have already happened. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I guess. I don't know. I keep my cool. Yeah. I feel comfortable with myself. Yeah. I am not bothered by difficult social situations. Neutral. Depends. I never spend more than I can afford. That is accurate now, but it hasn't always been that way. Like with the bills, it's something that I had to learn the hard way. I readily overcome setbacks. Yes. I am not really interested in others. Neutral. There are certain people that I care about and I'm interested in what they're up to. I don't quite understand this question, I guess. But I do care a lot about what my interests. I avoid crowds. Accurate. I don't like to draw attention to myself. Neutral. I'm gonna say neutral. I let things proceed at their own pace. Accurate. I would never go hang gliding or bungee jumping. Okay. These are two different things. You can't just lump them together. I'm gonna put neutral because, well, hang gliding is something that I probably will never do. Bungee jumping could be something that I did. I don't know. I've never ruled bungee jumping out. You can't put those two together. I am not easily amused. Inaccurate. I seldom get lost in thought. Inaccurate. It's just a reiteration of the same questions. I do not like concerts. Inaccurate. Well, I do avoid crowds and I don't like socializing. I do like concerts. To each their own. I experience very few emotional highs and lows. Inaccurate. I go through like these. I dislike new foods. Inaccurate. I'm not interested in theoretical discussions. Inaccurate. I believe that we should be tough on crime. Neutral. I am wary of others. It's the same things over and over again. I'm gonna put in between neutral and accurate. I take advantage of others. Inaccurate. I turn my back on others. I guess this is circumstantial. I mean, I have friendships that ended. I get back at others. Inaccurate. I boast about my virtues. Inaccurate. I believe people should fend for themselves. To a certain extent, I do, but I'm gonna put neutral because sometimes people need help, you know. I have little to contribute. Neutral. I am not bothered by messy people. Neutral. I think, as far as this kind of thing goes, I don't mind people who are messy in their own way. Well, you know, like my art stuff is kind of a mess, and the only thing that bothers me is when their mess is affecting other people. So, like, if somebody else's mess bleeds into my life in a negative way, then it does tend to bother me. But also it depends on the person, I've noticed with me anyway. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it worth a fight? And is it worth getting upset about? And if it's not, then, proceed how you want at that point, but know that it's not worth fighting about or whatever. I do the opposite of what is asked. No. I do just enough work to get by. No. I have difficulties starting tasks. Neutral, depends on the task. I act without thinking. That's inaccurate. I adapt easily to new situations. Accurate. I rarely complain. I'm gonna put neutral because honestly, I don't notice if I complain a lot. I'm very pleased with myself. I'm gonna put accurate. I am able to stand up for myself. Accurate. I never splurge. Inaccurate. I am calm even in tense situations. Neutral. Depends on the situation. I keep others at a distance. Neutral, depends on the others. I seek quiet. Inaccurate. Only because I always listen to music. I hold back my opinions. Neutral. I will hold back my opinions if it's appropriate. I will say my opinions if it's appropriate. I react slowly. Depends. Again, it just depends on what I'm reacting to. Neutral. I dislike loud music. Inaccurate. I seldom joke around. Inaccurate. I have difficulty imagining things. I'm gonna put inaccurate, although, no, maybe I'll just put neutral. I do not enjoy watching dance performances. Neutral. If it's a good dance performance, I'll enjoy it. I don't understand people who get emotional. Inaccurate. I am attached to conventional ways. Inaccurate. Absolutely. I avoid difficult reading material. Yeah, I do. I like to stand during the national anthem. I feel neutral about this. I haven't even heard the national anthem since I was in like high school. So yeah. I believe that people are essentially evil. Neutral, because I do believe that some people are. I obstruct others' plans. I'm gonna put inaccurate only because I hope that I don't. But if I do, I'm sorry. I take no time for others. Inaccurate. I hold a grudge. I'm gonna put neutral. I make myself the center of attention. Inaccurate. I can't stand weak people. Inaccurate. I don't see the consequences of things. Inaccurate. I'm not bothered by disorder. Neutral. I misrepresented the facts. Inaccurate. I put little time and effort into my work. Inaccurate. I postpone decisions. Neutral. Depends on the decision. most of the time accurate. Okay, so now we're done. That's 300 questions. That took an hour and a half, basically. Okay, let's see what my results are in a nutshell. Wow, they went all in. Okay, my cognitive style is pragmatic. In your thinking, you strike a balance between creativity and practicality. You can be imaginative when the situation calls for it, but never so much that your head is lost in the clouds. On the other hand, you're also able to think through the practical concerns of a situation and be a hard-headed realist when the need arises. Your emotional style is focused. You are a goal-oriented, hardworking person who always has your eyes on the prize. You are not easily distracted and tend to persist until the job is done. Friends and co-workers know they can rely on you keeping your promises and do your duty. You put work before play and have a serious, responsible attitude. I don't know how accurate this is. Your energy style is introverted. That's true. You tend to be reserved and calm in your approach, although you may enjoy being around people, especially close friends and family members. Lots of socializing tends to be draining to you. You are more thoughtful than talkative and tend to be a good listener. You enjoy quiet, independent activities that you can do at your own pace. Your stress management style is resilient. You deal with stress well and respond effectively to most of the hurdles in life. You do not easily become depressed, anxious, or angry. You can maintain a cool head in situations and set others off. You tend to take an optimistic approach to life, trusting yourself to manage challenges and difficulties. Your interpersonal style is cooperative. You look for ways to get along and agree with others. You are at your best when you are in an environment of harmony and cooperation. You are naturally altruistic and get a lot of satisfaction out of helping people, especially the ones who need it most. You easily feel compassion and identify with people who are suffering. Okay, so the next section says your scores on all 30 personality traits. Let's go into depth to describe your personality. Below are scores on 30 distinct personality traits organized by the big 5 personality dimensions of openness, incisiveness, extroversion, neuroticism, and agreeableness. These words. Okay. The 6 traits below relate to your level of openness. Openness is a broad dimension of personality describing your tendency to think in terms of ideas and abstractions. People high on openness tend to be creative, imaginative, and progressive. People low on openness tend to be practical, concrete, and traditional. So, imagination. Your level of imagination is average. To imaginative individuals, the real world is often too plain and ordinary. High scores on this scale use fantasy as a way of creating a richer, more interesting world. Lower scores on this scale are more oriented to the facts than fantasy. Artistic interests. Your level of artistic interest is high. Higher scores on this scale love beauty both in art and nature. They become easily involved and absorbed in artistic and natural events. They are not necessarily artistically trained nor talented, although many will be. The defining features of this scale are interested in appreciation of the natural and artificial beauty. Low scores lack aesthetic sensitivity and interest in the arts. scores are less aware of their feelings and tend not to express their emotions openly. Adventurousness is high. High scores of adventurousness are eager to try new activities, travel to foreign lands, experience different things. They find familiarity and routine boring and will take a new route home just because it is different. Low scores tend to feel uncomfortable with change and prefer familiar routines. Intellectual interests are low. Your intellectual and artistic interests are the two most important central aspects of openness to experience. As they examine a person's tendency to enjoy abstract ideas, high scores on this facet love to play with ideas. They are open to new and unusual ideas and like to debate intellectual issues. They enjoy riddles, puzzles, and brain teasers. Low scores prefer dealing with either people or things rather than ideas. They regard intellectual exercise as a waste of time. The intellectual interest should not be equated with intelligence. This facet of personality describes an intellectual style and not an intellectual ability. Self-efficiency is about average. Self-efficiency describes the confidence in one's ability to accomplish things. High scorers believe they have the intelligence, common sense, drive, and self-control necessary for achieving success. Low scorers do not feel effective and may have a sense that they are not in control of their lives. There is actually way too many of these to read. See, I'll just go over them. So my sympathy is average. My modesty is average. My cooperation is average. My altruism is high. What is altruism? Altruistic people find helping other people genuinely rewarding. Consequently, they are generally willing to assist those who are in need. Altruistic people find that doing things for others is a form of self-fulfillment rather than self-sacrifice. Lower scores on this scale do not particularly like helping those in need. Requests for help feel like an implosion rather than an opportunity for self-fulfillment. I find that one kind of weird because I feel like I just answered neutral for everything that had to do with helping people. Honesty, my level of honesty is high. High scores on this scale see no need for pretense or manipulation when dealing with others and are therefore candid, frank, and sincere. My trust is average. My vulnerability is low. High scores on vulnerability experience panic, confusion, and helplessness when under pressure or stress. Low scores feel more poised, confident, and clear thinking when stressed. Let's see, depression is low. Anger is low. Anxiety is low. Cheerfulness is high. Individuals who score high on this scale typically experience a range of positive feelings, including happiness, enthusiasm, optimism, and joy. Seems like a no-brainer. My friendliness is average. My self-discipline is high. My cautiousness is high. Okay, so my cautiousness describes the disposition to think through possibilities before acting. High scores on the cautiousness scale take their time when making decisions. self-discipline, what many people call willpower, refers to the ability to persist at difficult or unpleasant tasks until they are completed. People who possess a high self-discipline are able to overcome reluctance to begin tasks and stay on track despite distractions. My achievement striving is high. Their drive to be recognized as successful keeps them on track toward lofty goals. They often have a strong sense of direction in life, but extremely high scores may be too single-minded and obsessed with their work. Dutifulness is high. Those who score high on this scale have a strong sense of moral obligation. My orderliness is average. My self-efficiency is average. That's pretty much it. So that was interesting. So that's called the 300 question personality test. So hopefully